Hi guys, welcome back to the channel Style by C. Thank you so much for stopping by. On today's tutorial, we're on how to make this beautiful pants trouser or palazzo trouser. So stay tuned, darling. So the first thing I'm going to be marking now is the full length of my trouser. Okay, so I'm working with 42 inches length. Both the seam allowance, everything is there, 42 inches. So I'm going to mark my start point, which is here. Alright, it's going to be a high waist trouser. Then the next thing I'll be marking is my lap line. So from here to my lap line is 12 inches. So this is my lap line, 12 inches. Then the next thing is my hip length. That's where I'm starting my hip measurements, which is at 8 inches here. Okay, so now I'm going to divide my hip measurements by 4. So I have my hip measurement to be 40. When I divide it by 4, I get 10 inches plus 1 inch, making it 11 inches. So I'm going to be marking it on my lap line, 1, mark it on my hip line. Alright, then I also mark it on my start point or waistline, which is 11 here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to connect them together. So this is what I have. Okay, then the next thing is my round lap measurements, what I have. So my lap measurements is 24 inches. When I divide it by 2, I'll be getting 12 inches. I'll add 1 inch seam allowance, making it 13 inches, which is here. So this is my 13 inches. So here now I'm going to come in by 1 inch. Also here I'm going to come up by 1 inch, making a cube. Then I'll make a C curve, proper C curve. Alright, then coming to my start point on my waistline, I'm going to be inserting my waist measurement. So my waist measurement is 28 inches plus 1 inch, making it, that's 28 divided by 4, 7, plus 1 inch, making it 8 inches, which is here. Then I'll connect it to my hip line. Then from here, I'm going to drag it down this way. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing properly, but this is me shaping the down part of my palazzo. Then from this lap line too, I'm going to do the same thing. Alright, so this is what we have. So the next thing we're going to be doing now is to cut this out. That's what we're going to do now. So I'll cut it out, then use it to cut out for my back. But before I trim out the sides of my trouser, I want to use it and cut out my back at once. Alright, so this is for my back. What I did was just to place my front on top of my fabric. Then I'll be adding extra 2 inches allowance from this center part of it. So I'll be adding my 2 inches. I'll also do the same thing here. So I'll go ahead and make a curve at this area too. Alright, then I'll be cutting it out. Then for my front piece, because it's going to be having a zip at the back, I'm going to come to this center point of my front and mark 1 inch down. Okay, here. Then I'm going to connect it to my waistline. This way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Okay, then I also cut out this other side. So I'm going to adjust this. Then I'm going to cut it out. So now the next thing I did was I picked one front. This is one of the fronts. Alright, and this one is one of the back. This is the back and this is the front. So now I'm going to go ahead and run a stitch here. I'm going to mark 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. Then I'm going to leave 7 inches space for my pocket. Then I'm going to close it up. Then for this part too, I'm going to close up the center here. Okay, then I'll hem the bottom part. So I'm done joining it. This is the spacing I have for my pockets. Alright, and this is my pockets already. Okay, so now I'll go ahead and attach it. This is an inseam pocket. So now this is what I have to do. I'm going to run a stitch on it this side and also do the same thing, picking up this other part and run a stitch on it. After joining it, this is what I have. After joining it, inserting my pocket, the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to be closing it up. So I'm going to pick the front. This is my front, and I'm going to pick the front, the two fronts. Then I'm going to run a stitch on it up to this crotch depth here, my lap line. Then I'll get to this point. I'll leave few inches to enable me join my band. So the next thing I'm going to be joining now is my band. So this is the band. It's 2.5 inches broad. So I'm going to be running it on top of this one, stitch it on top of it till I get to this other end, after which I will insert my elastic. So this is the band I'm working with. This is a 1 inch band. So our waist measurement is 29 inches. I'm going to be removing 4 to 5 inches from it. Alright, the next thing I'll be doing is I'm going to be passing it through this casing. This is what we have as the final look of our palazzo trouser. At the beginning of the video, zip was meant to use, but along the line we now used a band.